Obi-Wan looks back at his home that he had grown up in, a place that he had revered for years, the hallowed halls of the Jedi Temple. Then he looks to the cityscape of Coruscant, feeling free and finally able to live his own life. He smiles as he looks back once again, with fond memories of everything that had transpired in those sacred walls. However, now he could live the life of his dreams. Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Obi-Wan Kenobi had left the Jedi Order? Well, if so, then tonight you are in for an absolute treat, because that is exactly what we'll be exploring in today's video. So, cuddle up with your pet bantha, and let's dive right into what if Obi-Wan had left the Jedi Order. If you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe, as I would love to see you help out this channel. Now, let's get into our story. The Jedi Council chambers bathe in soft, eerie light of Coruscant's eternal twilight. Obi-Wan Kenobi, a recently knighted man of the Order, after a grueling battle with Darth Maul, kneels before Master Yoda, his face a mix of pride and exhaustion. The echoes of his victory still resonate, but his heart is heavy with the weight of a new burden. Obi-Wan's voice is steady, but laced with desperation. Master Yoda, I ask you to honor Qui-Gon's last wish. Train Anakin Skywalker. He's the chosen one. Yoda's eyes narrow, the green glow of his lightsaber casting a shadow on his ancient face.
Too old the boy is. The Council's decision. Final, it is. Concerned we are about his training.
Obi-Wan's frustration flares, his knuckles white as he grips his robes. It was Qui-Gon's dying wish. To deny it now, it's a slap in the face. To dishonor his memory. Yoda's gaze remains unwavering, but the weight of Obi-Wan's words is palpable.
The path of the Jedi you must follow. Angry you are. Clear your mind must be.
Yoda replies. With a final defiant glare, Obi-Wan stands. I will train Anakin. The Council's approval means nothing to me. His voice trembles with determination. Without another word, Obi-Wan turns and strides from the chamber, his resolve as unyielding as the Force itself. The doors close behind him with a decisive thud, marking his departure from the Order and his commitment to train Anakin Skywalker on his own terms. The path ahead is uncertain, but Obi-Wan's determination is crystal clear. The Senate apartments are cloaked in a serene silence, the dimly lit halls contrasting sharply with the turmoil that has engulfed Obi-Wan Kenobi's life. He arrives, his expression weary but resolute, to find Padmé Amidala and her staff gathered around Anakin Skywalker, who sits with a sense of anxious anticipation. Padmé's eyes soften as Obi-Wan approaches, sensing the weight of the news that he carries. Padmé's eyes take a deep breath as Obi-Wan begins, his voice steady but carrying a trace of the frustration that he feels. I've spoken with the Jedi Council, and they've denied my request to train Anakin. They believe that he is too old, and his path does not align with theirs. Anakin's face falls, his youthful eyes reflecting a mix of confusion and dismay. What does that mean for me? Does that mean that I can't become a Jedi? Obi-Wan steps forward, placing a reassuring hand on Anakin's shoulder. It means the Council's decision does not define your future. I am committed to training you in the ways of the Force. We will forge our own path. Padmé, sensing the gravity of the situation, steps closer. Is there anything you need? A place to stay, perhaps? Obi-Wan's gaze turns thoughtful, and he nods. Yes, we would need somewhere to go. I have an idea. He pulls out a small comm device and contacts an old friend. As the comm link opens, the familiar face of Duchess Satine Kryze appears on his screen. Her smile is warm and genuine, a stark contrast to the weight of the moment. Obi-Wan, it's been so long. What brings you to contact me? Obi-Wan's voice carries a blend of nostalgia and urgency. Satine, it's good to see you. I'm afraid I have some difficult news. I've left the Jedi Order to fulfill a promise made to Qui-Gon Jinn. I need to train Anakin Skywalker, who Qui-Gon believes was the chosen one. We're in need of a place to stay in the Republic, and I believe is under the influence of Sith. Satine's expression shifts to one of concern and understanding. I see. Mandalore is a safe haven away from the turmoil of Coruscant. You and Anakin are most welcome here. My palace has space, and you'll have the privacy that you need. Relief washes over Obi-Wan's face, and he bows his head in gratitude. Thank you, Satine. Your kindness means more than you know. With arrangements made, Obi-Wan and Anakin make their way to Mandalore. The journey is filled with a sense of new beginnings and hope. Upon arrival, the atmosphere is markedly different from the bustling streets of Coruscant. The air is fresh, and the planet's rugged beauty stands in stark contrast to the political chaos that they left behind. Duchess Satine welcomes them with open arms at her palace. As Obi-Wan steps out of her transport, he's enveloped in Satine's embrace, a gesture of both warmth and familiarity. Her eyes glimmer with unspoken emotions, and Obi-Wan's own eyes reflect a mixture of gratitude and affection. "It is wonderful to see you again," Satine says softly, her gaze lingering on Obi-Wan. "It's good to be here," Obi-Wan replies, his voice panging with relief. The palace is a haven of tranquility, and Satine ensures that accommodations are arranged for both Obi-Wan and Anakin. Obi-Wan accepts a position as one of Satine's personal bodyguards, allowing him to remain close to her while beginning his new role as Anakin's mentor. As the sun sets over Mandalore, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Obi-Wan looks over the planet with a sense of determination. The road is uncertain, but in his new chapter away from the shadows of the Republic, he's ready to honor Qui-Gon's legacy and shape Anakin's future. The transition to life on Mandalore is anything but smooth for Anakin Skywalker. The rugged landscape and new surroundings, combined with the strict Jedi training imposed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, make it a challenging start. Obi-Wan's adherence to the Jedi Code is unwavering during the initial months, and Anakin's struggles are evident. The young boy's emotions and attachments often interfere with his training, causing a rift between the two. In the early morning hours, Obi-Wan's patience is tested as he observes Anakin's attempts to harness the Force. The sessions are grueling, and Obi-Wan finds himself questioning his decision. He begins to wonder if it would have been better to have left Anakin's training to Master Yoda, or perhaps to abandon the endeavor altogether. One evening, as the two sit down for dinner at the palace, Obi-Wan finds solace in Satine's company. The dining room is bathed in the soft glow of ambient light, and the air is filled with the aroma of simple yet elegant food. Satine listens attentively as Obi-Wan pours out his frustrations. "Anakin's training has been challenging," Obi-Wan admits, forcing his food around on his plate. "His emotions and attachments constantly get in the way. I try to follow the code strictly, but I wonder if I'm pushing him too hard. Maybe he would have been better under the tutelage of Master Yoda, or not being trained at all." Satine's eyes soften with understanding. "Obi-Wan, the Jedi Code is rigid and unyielding. Anakin is not a traditional Padawan. The expectations placed on him are immense, especially for someone so young. Perhaps you should lower your expectations for now. He is, after all, still a child, grappling with a destiny that even the greatest Jedi might find overwhelming, and leaving his mother behind." Obi-Wan considers her words, a flicker of doubt crossing his face. "You're suggesting I change my approach?" Satine nods. "Yes. Anakin is the prophesied chosen one, but that doesn't mean he must adhere to every single aspect of the code at the start. He is not being trained in the traditional Jedi manner, so why should he be held to those standards?" Taking Satine's advice to heart, Obi-Wan adjusts his approach. He shifts the focus of Anakin's training to the fundamental aspects of the Force, encouraging him to trust his instincts and feelings just as Qui-Gon once taught him. This new method proves to be more in tune with Anakin's natural abilities, and the boy responds positively. The tension that once clouded their training sessions begins to dissipate, and Anakin's progress accelerates. His connection to the Force grows stronger, and he begins to grasp its nuances with greater ease. However, as the years pass on Mandalore, a new challenge arises. Anakin, despite his growing skills and acceptance among Satine's court, is haunted by memories of his mother. His longing for Shmi Skywalker becomes a significant distraction, affecting his focus during training sessions. Obi-Wan notices the shifts in Anakin's demeanor and recognizes the depths of his apprentice's sorrow. One evening, as the two sit in quiet contemplation, Obi-Wan gently broaches the subject. "Anakin, I noticed you seem troubled. What's on your mind?" Anakin hesitates before speaking, his voice tinged with sadness. "I miss my mother. I think about her all the time. I wish she were free from Tatooine, living somewhere safe and happy like we are." Obi-Wan listens, his heart heavy with empathy. His time with Satine had altered his perspective on attachment and emotions. He understands the importance of family and the pain of separation. "I will help you," Obi-Wan says, his voice resolute. "We will go to Tatooine and bring your mother here." True to his word, Obi-Wan arranges a journey to Tatooine. Upon arrival, they seek out Watto, who is more than eager to strike a deal for the right price. Obi-Wan offers to pay off Watto's gambling debts and unmortgage his shop in exchange for Shmi Skywalker's freedom. The transaction is swift, and Shmi is freed from her life of servitude. She reunites with Anakin. This reunion is emotional, with Anakin's joy palpable. Obi-Wan watches the scene with a mixture of satisfaction and contemplation, knowing that he has taken a step towards redefining his approach to training and relationships. Returning to Mandalore, Shmi settles into her new life with Anakin, and Obi-Wan continues his role as Satine's personal bodyguard. The dynamic between Obi-Wan and Anakin shifts, now characterized by a more compassionate and understanding mentorship. Their journey, while fraught with challenges, begins to forge a new path, one that balances the demands of destiny with the needs of the heart. The bustling palace of Mandalore, once a place of formality and political intrigue, is now humming with newfound warmth and vitality. Shmi Skywalker has settled into her new life, moving into an apartment adjacent to Anakin's quarters. The transition from her life of servitude on Tatooine to serving as a member of the palace staff is big, but she embraces it with grace. Her presence brings an emotional stability to Anakin that he had desperately needed. Each day, Shmi offers Anakin the kind of support that only a mother can provide. Their interactions are filled with shared smiles, tender moments, and the comforting routine of a family life that Anakin had longed for. This nurturing environment sparks a dramatic change in Anakin's Force abilities. His connection to the Force becomes more profound and controlled, as if support from his loving mother had unlocked new depths in him. Obi-Wan Kenobi absorbs this transformation with a mix of curiosity and awe. He notices that Anakin's growth in the Force is marked by an exceptional level of potential, and there is no trace of the darkness that often accompanies such power. It's clear that Anakin's increased strength stems from a place of emotional fulfillment and support. Reflecting on his own journey, Obi-Wan realizes that he too has experienced a significant enhancement in his Force abilities. His time with Satine has brought about a 5-fold increase in his potential, yet he also acknowledges that his hesitation to fully embrace his feelings for Satine has impeded his growth. When Satine proposes to him, he turns her down, a decision that momentarily stunts his own progress. Determined to rectify his past hesitations, Obi-Wan approaches Satine with a renewed sense of purpose. The palace garden is adorned with blooming flowers, the soft twilight casting a serene glow over their conversation. "Satine," Obi-Wan begins, his voice filled with sincerity. "I've been reflecting on my actions and feelings. My hesitance has affected not only our relationship but also my potential. I want to make amends with you." Satine's eyes are filled with understanding as she listens. "Obi-Wan, I only want your happiness. If you have found clarity, that's all that matters," she says. Taking a deep breath, Obi-Wan continues. "I realize now that my love for you is a source of strength, not hindrance. I want to be with you, not just in thought, but in action." He gets down on one knee. "Duchess Satine of Mandalore, will you marry me?" The proposal is met with a radiant smile from Satine, who nods in acceptance. "Yes, Obi-Wan, I would be honored to marry a man like you." Months pass in a whirlwind of preparations and joyful celebrations. Obi-Wan and Satine are married in a ceremony that reflects both their personal love and shared commitment to the future. The union marks a new chapter, with Obi-Wan taking the role of co-ruler alongside Satine. Their partnership begins to bring about a harmonious balance between governance and personal fulfillment. As the years progress, both Obi-Wan and Anakin continue to develop their Force abilities, their growth far surpassing their canon counterparts. Their enhanced skills are showcased in their decisive victories over the Death Watch, with Obi-Wan reclaiming the Darksaber from Pre Vizsla, and Anakin's matured strength proving pivotal in these confrontations. Anakin's transformation is equally as remarkable. Under the influence of his mother's love and Obi-Wan's guidance, he grows into a compassionate and respected young man. Shmi's influence fosters in him a deep sense of generosity and empathy. Furthermore, the training that he receives from both Obi-Wan and Satine sharpens his skills in negotiation and diplomacy. Anakin becomes a smooth talker, adept at navigating situations with finesse. The peaceful and supportive environment on Mandalore has nurtured their potential, allowing Obi-Wan and Anakin to reach heights of power and maturity that set them apart from their canon selves. With Shmi's continued support, Anakin's path is one of balance and grace, reflecting the positive impact of love and guidance on his journey. As the Republic teeters on the brink of chaos, an urgent assassination attempt on Senator Padmé Amidala shakes Coruscant. The Senate is thrown into disarray as the attack underscores the rising threat facing the galaxy. The Jedi Council, however, vigilant, proposes sending Master Quinlan Vos and Jedi Knight Aayla Secura to ensure Padmé's safety. However, Padmé, with a particular concern for her own safety and a personal connection to her past, requests an alternative arrangement. She turns to Duchess Satine, who graciously agrees to have Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi handle her protection detail. Anakin and Obi-Wan arrive on Coruscant amidst the frantic pace of the capital. The bustling cityscape filled with speeders and towering skyscrapers provides a stark contrast to the serenity of Mandalore. As they prepare to meet Padmé, Obi-Wan and Anakin exchange brief glances, both aware of the gravity of their new mission. Their reunion with Padmé is a poignant moment. It's been a decade since they last saw each other, and Anakin's growth is evident. Padmé's eyes widen with a mix of recognition and admiration as she takes in Anakin's transformed demeanor. "Anakin, my goodness, you've grown," she says. "I'm impressed by your professionalism." Anakin smiles, his respect for Padmé clear. "Thank you, Senator. It is an honor to be here. I'll do everything in my power to ensure your safety." Their meeting is interrupted later that night as Zam Wesell, the changeling assassin, makes another attempt on Padmé's life. The tension mounts as Zam's efforts are thwarted by the intervention of Jango Fett, who promptly eliminates the threat. The presence of Fett, a formidable bounty hunter, only adds to the mystery surrounding these assassination attempts. With Padmé's safety at the forefront of their minds, Anakin is tasked with escorting her back to Naboo for protection, while Obi-Wan continues the investigation into the assassination attempts. Obi-Wan enlists the help of the Jedi Order and seeks additional information from his old friend Dex, a knowledgeable diner owner with connections across the galaxy. Following the clues, Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos make their way to Kamino, a remote and uncharted planet in the Outer Rim. The Kaminoans, tall and elongated beings, greet them with curiosity. The pair is informed of an extraordinary revelation. Jedi Master Sifo Dyas had ordered the creation of a clone army for the Republic a decade earlier, with no permission from the Order. This unexpected discovery adds to the layer of complexity in their investigation. While Quinlan Vos engages in discussions with the Kaminoans about the clone army, Obi-Wan explores the facility further. His investigation leads him to Jango Fett, who's present on Kamino and is revealed to be the source of DNA used to create the clone army. Fett, recognizing Obi-Wan as the Duke of Mandalore and the renowned warrior who defeated the Death Watch, offers a begrudging respect. "I've heard of your deeds, Kenobi," Fett remarks, nodding in acknowledgement. "The Death Watch was a menace, and what you did was well for all of us." Obi-Wan, maintaining his composure, inquires about Fett's involvement and the recent assassination attempts. "You were involved in the recent assassination attempts on the Senator. Is that correct?" Fett's expression reveals a flicker of respect rather than animosity. "Indeed. I was hired by a man named Tyrannus to create this clone army. The same Tyrannus who ordered the assassination. And if you want to tell you more, I can tell you that Tyrannus is none other than Count Dooku." This revelation hits Obi-Wan like a bolt of lightning. Count Dooku, Qui-Gon's former master and a man of great power, was the orchestrator behind the recent attacks and the clone army. The implications were staggering, and Obi-Wan is shocked. "Count Dooku," Obi-Wan replies, his mind racing. "This changes everything." As Obi-Wan and Vos leave Kamino, the weight of their discovery settles heavily upon them. They now face the daunting task of unraveling the intricate web of deceit and manipulation spun by Dooku. Meanwhile, Anakin and Padmé, now safely on Naboo, find themselves preparing for the trials that lie ahead as the galaxy's shadows deepen and the forces of darkness draw closer. The imposing and barren landscape of Geonosis stretches out as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jango Fett, and Count Dooku's former allies approach in Fett's sleek ship, the Slave One. The sun scorches the rocky terrain, casting a long shadow over the hive-like citadel where Dooku resides. The trio's arrival on the planet is marked by an uneasy silence, a prelude to the storm of conflict that's about to unfold. As they enter the citadel, the atmosphere is thick with tension. Dooku, ever the formidable presence, senses their approach through the Force. He steps into the grand hall of the citadel, his elegant robes trailing behind him as he waits their arrival. The former Jedi's eyes narrow with a mix of curiosity and melancholy.
"Obi-Wan Kenobi,"
Dooku's voice echoes through the chamber.
I had hoped our paths would cross under more amicable circumstances. It is unfortunate that it had to come to this.
Kenobi's gaze is steely and unwavering. Count Dooku, your actions have put the galaxy at risk. I will not join your cause, and I cannot allow you to continue with your plans. Dooku's lip curls into a faint, almost pitying smile.
You must understand me, Duke. I offer you an alliance, a chance to join the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Together, we could reshape the galaxy.
Kenobi's eyes flash with determination. I'm not interested in your vision, Dooku. You betrayed everything that you once stood for. Without further preamble, Dooku ignites his red lightsaber, its crimson blade hissing to life. Obi-Wan responds in kind, drawing his own lightsaber and the dark saber, his weapons forming a striking contrast. The two engage in a fierce duel, their blades clashing in a dazzling display of skill and power. Dooku's combat style is graceful and precise, honed by years of training and expertise. Kenobi, despite his greater force abilities, struggles to match Dooku's refined technique with the saber. He adopts a dual-wielding stance, using the darksaber in his left hand as his original lightsaber in his right. The intensity of the fight reveals Kenobi's raw strength, but also exposes the gaps in his lightsaber skills as he is repeatedly taken on the defensive. Dooku's movements are elegant and deliberate, his attacks swift and calculated. With a daft maneuver, he disarms Kenobi, sending his lightsaber skittering across the floor. Obi-Wan is momentarily vulnerable, but Dooku refrains from delivering that fatal blow, his attention diverted by a sudden commotion. Jango Fett, ever the wild card, tackles Dooku with surprising force. The Sith Lord's composure is momentarily disrupted as Fett's intervention throws him off balance. Dooku retaliates with a bolt of Sith lightning to Fett's Beskar, sending him crashing into the far wall, his body slamming against the stone with a resounding thud. Kenobi, seizing this opportunity, scrambles to recover his lightsabers. He ignites them once more, ready to continue the fight. The duel resumes with renewed intensity, but the arrival of additional reinforcements shifts the tide. Mace Windu, Plo Koon, and Ki-Adi-Mundi burst into the chamber, their presence a formidable reinforcement. The arrival of these seasoned Jedi bring a new level of coordination and strategy to the battle. Their lightsabers blaze with the light side of the Force as they join Kenobi in confronting Dooku. The combined strength of these Jedi overwhelms Dooku. He's cornered and outnumbered, his once fluid movements now hindered by this coordinated assault. Despite his considerable power, the Sith Lord is ultimately subdued and restrained. With a final surge of energy, the Jedi manage to imprison Dooku with a force-blocking ray shield. The prison cell hums with an ominous glow, confining the once mighty Count and rendering him powerless. As the dust settles, Kenobi and the Jedi look back with a mix of relief and contemplation. The battle on Geonosis is a pivotal moment, and the capture of Count Dooku marks a significant victory. Yet, the shadow of conflict looms larger, and the path towards remains fraught with uncertainty. The events of this day set the stage for the unfolding galactic opera, and the galaxy holds its breath as the Jedi and their allies prepare for even more challenges that lie ahead. The battle on Geonosis had concluded, and the Jedi had swiftly taken control of the situation. With Count Dooku imprisoned and the CIS leadership arrested, Mace Windu and Obi-Wan Kenobi delve deep into their captured files. As they sift through the data, their eyes widen with shock. The holo recordings reveal a dark-robed figure conversing with Count Dooku, Lord Tyrannus. The recordings unmistakably identify the second figure as Darth Sidious, a name that sends chills through the Jedi. This revelation is both alarming and earth-shattering. Windu immediately reaches out to Master Yoda on Coruscant, where the Senate is already in a heated debate, with Chancellor Palpatine's Military Creation Act facing fierce opposition that's led by Padmé Amidala, who's determined to expose the Chancellor's deceit following the revelation of the clone army. As the Senate session concludes, Yoda assembles a group of masters. Oppo Rancisis, Shakti, Coleman Trevor, Eth Koth, and Sin Dralig. Together, they converge on the Chancellor's office, where the debate continues with Palpatine, Padmé, and her allies all present. Anakin stands guard, ever vigilant in his role as a protector. Yoda enters the office with a commanding presence, his voice strong and echoing authority and gravitas.
Supreme Chancellor, discovered your true identity. We have Darth Sidious. You are the Sith Lord behind this chaos. You are.
Palpatine's demeanor shifts from feigned surprise to cold calculation. He attempts to twist the situation to his advantage, fabricating accusations of Jedi treason. As the evidence of his Sith afflictions come to light, he draws his lightsabers, one red, one curved, and prepares to defend himself. Chaos erupts. Anakin, sensing the imminent danger, ignites his own lightsaber, its green blade a stark contrast to Sidious's crimson. The Jedi Masters spring into action, intercepting Sidious's attacks while ensuring that the senators escape. In the ensuing confrontation, Sidious demonstrates his formidable prowess. Coleman Trevor falls to a swift, brutal strike, while Eth Koth and Shak Ti are grievously injured in the skirmish. Yoda, Anakin, and Sindralig corner Sidious, forcing him to edge a precarious window overlooking the sprawling cityscape of Coruscant. Sidious, cornered and desperate, unleashes a torrent of force lightning, crackling with dark energy. Anakin and Dralik hold their lightsabers defensively while Yoda absorbs the lightning with serene control. The sight of Yoda effortlessly deflecting dark energy only heightens Sidious's alarm. Seizing this opportunity, Anakin harnesses his unique combination of Jedi and Mandalorian training. With a swift and unexpected move, he headbutts Sidious, knocking the Sith Lord backwards against the window ledge. Sidious, now weakened and cornered, attempts another devastating wave of lightning. However, Anakin, leveraging his deep connection with the Force and his Mandalorian training, reflects the bolts back at Sidious. The Sith Lord, overwhelmed and fraught with pain, collapses. In one final act of resolve, Anakin strides forward. With a decisive swing of his lightsaber, he cuts down Sidious, ending the threat that has loomed over the galaxy. The Sith Lord's reign of terror is brought to a swift and definitive conclusion. As the dust settles, the Jedi and the remaining senators are left to grapple with the enormity of the day's events. The fall of Darth Sidious marks a pivotal moment in the galaxy's struggle between light and darkness, reshaping the future of the Order and the Republic itself. With ample evidence collected from the Supreme Chancellor's offices and on Geonosis, with Dooku in custody, and with the Jedi and several senators witnessing the events that unfolded in the Chancellor's office, the case against Palpatine ends with a strong case. And he is found guilty of treason against the Republic. Palpatine's closest advisors and aides are arrested and also found guilty of conspiracy, including Admiral Tarkin and the infamous Mal Samida. Dooku and the CIS leaders are arrested and given life sentences for conspiracy against the government, while Fett is acquitted for his crimes after it is revealed that he tried to stop Dooku. The clone army is never sent into action, though the Jedi offer to take the clones under their administration and employ them to help with crime across the Mid and Outer Rim territories until those large families are eradicated. Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker are honored in the Senate for their bravery in uncovering the plot against the Republic. The Jedi Council offers them honorary status within the Order, where Obi-Wan is given the rank of Jedi Master and Anakin that of Knight. Though they do not commit themselves fully to the Order, they are often seen inside the Jedi Temple discussing matters with the High Council and telling them about their discoveries in the Force. This results to a few changes in the Order. The age limit for entry is removed, and marriage is allowed back into the Jedi Order under certain guidelines. Anakin and Padmé marry soon after the events of Coruscant and have a family of their own. Anakin is still Padmé's bodyguard, and Obi-Wan returns to Mandalore to rule alongside his wife, Satine. The four of them remain very close friends, along with their children and future generations. House Skywalker and House Kenobi Kryze become two of the most influential families in the Republic, leading future generations through various eras of peace and prosperity.